The scale of the crisis is staggering. According to a study by the consulting firm Stout, over 40% of California's renters are currently unable to pay their full rent and are at risk of eviction. In San Diego, with its already elevated rents and lack of affordable housing, the issue looks very much the same. Tenants like Imperial Beach resident Patricia Mendoza suddenly saw their income zeroed out. She was laid off in April and didn't get her first unemployment benefits until June. She hasn't paid her rent in months.
It's extremely hard because, like I said, I'm the only one here. I'm supposed to keep my children safe, and how am I supposed to do that when we're about to get evicted, when these moratoriums lift?
She's waiting for some plan to come together to help tenants deal with their months of unpaid rent. At a time when the economy has no prospect of recovery soon, and low-income communities are being hit the hardest by the pandemic.
Help us. Help us, low-income communities. Help our Black and brown brothers and sisters, because we need this help right now. Who else can we go to? Our elected officials. They're supposed to do something right. They're supposed to listen to us.
Right now, the region has several overlapping moratoriums placed on possible evictions, but many of them have already expired or are set to expire within weeks. The most pressing date for San Diego residents is now August 14th, when the state's Judicial Council could reopen eviction proceedings across the county in places without an ongoing moratorium. That means lawmakers at the local, state, and national level have 2 weeks to come up with some solution. The San Diego City Council voted in June to spend $15.1 million of federal CARES Act money to create an emergency rental assistance program, which would help around 3,500 families pay their rent. But that doesn't come close to filling the financial obligations of San Diego's renters.
It's going to take government dollars, I believe, whether it's local, city, county, or state dollars to help this crisis. This is no different than the COVID-19. It's a crisis that could explode all at once, all over us.
With unemployment benefits now cut nationwide, San Diego's tenants and landlords have pinned their hopes on Sacramento. Bay Area Assemblymember David Chu is the author of Assembly Bill 1436. It would allow renters in financial distress to stretch out their rent payments accrued during the pandemic until April 2022, and possibly beyond. It would also make it so unpaid rent during the pandemic can't be the sole basis for an eviction.
We all know that it is completely unreasonable to suggest that if you have been out of work or have seen your income drop dramatically, that come August 14th, you're magically going to have the money to pay any unpaid back rent in the last couple of months.
The bill also includes mortgage forbearance provisions for landlords. Last week, a group of landlords held a press conference in support of AB 1436. One of those was San Diego landlord Ginger Heitzke, who owns 449 units of housing across San Diego and Orange County. She doesn't want this housing crisis to be a repeat of 2008, where investors were able to move into a distressed housing market, buy foreclosed properties, and drive up rents.
I feel like I'm looking at this thing from the perspective as a real estate professional, and it terrifies me. Because, renters, particularly, renters on the lower scale of income, they just are in the habit of being in the business of just being people. They're not real estate professionals.
But not all landlords are quite on board with the bill. Todd Henderson is a fourth-generation San Diego landlord. He says that without more financial support, bills like AB 1436 are just kicking the can down the road and could leave tenants with an insurmountable amount owed to landlords.
Individuals who really are in those positions, frankly, are probably going to pack up and leave in the middle of the night and leave. And that does happen. We have that happen on a somewhat regular basis.
With the clock ticking, it's now up to state legislators and Governor Gavin Newsom to craft a response to the looming eviction cliff that many other cities across America are now falling off of. Tenants like Patricia Mendoza are counting on it.
When we see Governor Newsom say we're in this together, we just want to be accounted for. That's it. We want to be in it together, that's it.
Max Rivlin-Nadler, KPBS News.